This is just like a regular opponent. It's nothing some between country, but still we have 2-0 now. It's gonna be 3-0. I will try to catch him, take him down. Just what I did with my all opponents.
Islam Makhachev has delivered another pointed message to Ian Mikado Garry, insisting that Dagestan's supremacy over Ireland will persist. Neither fighter is willing to yield ground, and as the confrontation draws closer, the tension between them has escalated beyond sport into something deeply personal, fueling excitement for what could be a defining bout.
Здесь вяза какие-то сложности в его стиле. Да, у него сложный стиль. Постоянно убегает, назад идет, отступает постоянно, его все прижимают. Такой, не сказать, что он и зрелищный соперник. Есть еще вот в плане того, что для зрелищности боя тот же Моралес умеет бороться, тот же Моралес нападает сам. Но нападает это точно не про Яна Гарри.
Joe Rogan has taken notice of Makhachev's imposing frame and raw power at welterweight, praising the unwavering discipline and grinding training mentality that define Dagestani athletes. In Rogan's view, these attributes remain the core reason why fighters from that region consistently outperform their peers across mixed martial arts.
He's too big because he's so dominant at 170. He's so fucking strong, man. There's like something about those Dagestan guys, man. Like the discipline those motherfuckers have. Yeah. You know, there's Dagestan guys that are making their way into Muay Thai now, too.
Ray Longo sees Ian Makhachev Garry's dimensions, reach advantage, and unorthodox rhythm as elements that could present genuine challenges for Islam Makhachev. Still, Longo insists that neutralizing Makhachev's world-class wrestling remains Garry's most difficult hurdle, and he ultimately leans toward the champion due to his well-rounded abilities, meticulous preparation, and mental fortitude under pressure.
What are your thoughts about Ian's chances?
Look, well, first off, I mean, obviously you got to get the wrestling squared away, which isn't easy to do because the guy's at a super high level. But there is a big size discrepancy, Ken. You know what I mean? Like there is, he is long and lanky. I think he's awkward. You know, he's not like the most technically sound. And I think that actually is going to give Islam trouble, you know, because I think he's just a little quirky with everything. And he's got the size, I think, to give this guy trouble. He's big. Ian Garry's a big kid. This is a big 170-pounder. So I'm really curious to see how it plays out. But Islam is so squared away everywhere, and he's dedicated. You know, puts the time in with training and all that stuff. So I think it's a great matchup. I think it's a really, really good matchup.
Kenny Florian shares a comparable outlook, crediting Garry's jab, long-range kicking arsenal, and ability to control distance. However, Florian anticipates Makhachev methodically stripping those tools away without rushing toward an early stoppage. He expects Islam to collapse the pocket, target the midsection, drain Garry's energy across the championship rounds, and then seize opportunities once the action moves to the mat.
I think that's a factor. There's no question about it. Not only is he 6'3", he knows how to use it. He fights long. He throws a lot of kicks down the middle, kicks upstairs, and the jab is probably the best striking weapon that he has. So I think for Islam Makhachev, it's all about getting in on those legs or getting to the body in some way, shape, or form. And that's also a blessing and a curse in that, you know, against taller fighters, level changes are also easier to hit. Now, you got to be careful with knees down the middle and things like that on those level changes. But it is a factor. How he closes the distance, how small he can make the cage is going to be very important for him. I do think, though, once he's able to get Ian Garry on the ground, you know, I don't think it's going to happen round one. If he does, it's possible, but I think he's going to have to break him down bit by bit. And then as Ian Garry starts to get frustrated and, you know, the mistakes start to happen, that's where I think Islam Makhachev can capitalize on the ground with the submission.
Jorge Masvidal doesn't envision a competitive affair, confidently predicting Makhachev will force a submission finish. He acknowledges that Ian Machado Garry possesses respectable takedown defense and smooth footwork, but Masvidal contends Garry has never encountered a grappler with Islam's caliber of wrestling fundamentals, inside trips, sweeps, and upper body manipulation, asserting those skills will dictate the outcome. Chael Sonnen reinforces this viewpoint by emphasizing Makhachev's smothering cage-cutting ability and constant forward pressure, suggesting these traits will neutralize Garry's mobility, while his larger physique ironically provides Islam additional control points during clinch and ground exchanges.
Ian does have this ability to get points, scoring him, keep him at range. He has that ability. Islam wishes that Ian was even taller and even longer and had even more ability, because as a wrestler, it just gives him more to get under. Taking a tall guy down is so much easier, just because there's more body to grab.
Khabib Nurmagomedov reminds everyone that carrying the title brings unique burdens, expecting a grueling battle if the contest extends into the later rounds. He stresses that navigating 25 minutes inside the octagon against someone as skilled as Garry is a formidable task regardless of reputation or record.
Давление будет очень сильное, бой будет тяжелый, я считаю так. Ну, имеется в виду, если сразу не финишировать, да?
Да.
Если 5 раундов драться, так, все 5 раундов находиться с этим соперником будет нелегко внутри клетки.
Javier Mendez offers substantial respect for Ian Machado, Garry's athleticism, striking polish, and proven ability to wriggle free from dangerous grappling positions. Nevertheless, Mendez feels Islam Makhachev has already handled similarly skilled opponents over the years, expressing full confidence the champion will rise to the occasion, assuming he arrives injury-free and fully prepared come fight night.
We'll be prepared for him, and we're not underestimating him. We'd be foolish to do so because he's very tricky. He is long and he's fast. He's got good, he's got fast hands, fast kicks, and, he's got decent takedown defense too, so he's always scrambling too. So he's not going to be easy, but I'm just saying Islam has seen all of this before. So it's not like we're meeting somebody that we haven't met in sparring gym, or actually he hasn't sparred anybody like that in a real fight. He has. So we're fine. We're going to be fine with him. As long as we're healthy and the Islam that I have, that's who he is right now, we'll be fine.
Sean O'Malley frames the pairing as a fascinating collision between contrasting styles, noting that Ian Machado, Garry's height, reach, and unshakable confidence could genuinely test Islam Makhachev at welterweight. O'Malley believes these physical gifts combined with Garry's self-assurance make him a legitimately dangerous adversary and inject fresh intrigue into the matchup.
I love that. Dagestan versus Ireland 2. Ian Garry's legit as f***.
Yeah.
Islam moving up. I think Ian's going to be quite a bit bigger, just frame-wise.
He's got a lot of height, too.
Yeah,
Ian Garry's a big dude.
Confident.
Yeah.
And confidence is important. I know we saw Ilya, how confident he was, and that didn't pan out too well, but confidence is still one of the most important attributes in fighting. And Ian Garry is confident that he can go out there and beat Islam.
Michael Bisping highlights Islam Makhachev's exceptional grappling as a decisive edge, warning that Ian Machado Garry would encounter severe difficulties once grounded. Bisping argues that after Makhachev secures a takedown, Garry will struggle to regain his footing and find himself outmatched in submission grappling and jiu-jitsu exchanges.
The record of Islam Makhachev is 28 wins and 1 loss with 18 stoppages. And of course, if he can get a hold of Ian Garry and take him down, yeah, it's probably going to be easy. Ian will struggle to get back to his feet, and I don't think he can match Islam in terms of jiu-jitsu or submission grappling, okay?
Bisping also insists Ian Machado Garry's path to victory hinges entirely on keeping the fight at distance and preventing Islam Makhachev from entering the pocket. He identifies Garry's jab, straight punches, and kicks as his most potent weapons, believing they could allow him to edge Makhachev on the scorecards if he controls range throughout, though Bisping admits executing such a strategy for 25 minutes will be extremely challenging.
Because all Ian Garry is doing is dancing around, popping the jab, throwing the right hand, using push kicks to keep Islam away. He won't care because on paper, or according to the judges, he's winning the fight. And his job is to win the fight and become the welterweight champion of the world. But of course, it ain't gonna be easy.
Henry Cejudo takes a more optimistic stance on Garry's chances, contending the challenger has the all-around skill set to present serious problems for Islam Makhachev. While Cejudo typically favors elite wrestlers in these scenarios, he believes Garry's versatility, composure, and demonstrated grappling competence give him a real opportunity to remain competitive, arguing this bout is far tighter than the broader consensus suggests.
I'm always kind of pro wrestling. Like every time there's a wrestler that's going up against a striker or whatnot, I'll always kind of tend to go with the wrestler, particularly if I know their mindset a little bit. But in this one, man, and I'm good friends with Islam. Obviously, I'm not counting this dude out. But I'm just saying, bro, I still go back and I think of some of the weapons that Ian Garry has, and even Ian Garry, man. Ian Garry can take the back very, very well. He's shown that, man. If you're able to take the back against a guy like Shavkat Rakhmonov and then almost finish him with the smaller guy with longer legs, I personally think this is a good fight for Ian Garry. I think a harder fight would be like a guy like Kamaru. But for Ian Garry, I feel like this is good for him, in my opinion.
Georges St. Pierre views the fight as a classic striker versus grappler showdown, giving Ian Machado Garry the striking advantage at distance due to his technical stand-up ability. However, St. Pierre believes once Islam Makhachev closes the gap and initiates wrestling sequences, the champion assumes a clear upper hand in the exchanges.
Is a good choice to test Islam, who will be going for his 17th straight UFC win, trying to break Anderson Silva's record, which he's currently tied with.
Oh wow, yeah, that's wow. I think it's gonna be a good fight. Ian Garry, it's definitely a tough opponent, very good striker. But Islam once again, his goal gonna be to bring the fight to the ground, and I think if he's able to do that, he's gonna have an edge. If Ian Garry is able to keep it on the feet, and Ian gonna have an edge, so it's gonna be interesting.
Expanding further, St. Pierre also praises Makhachev's seamless ability to blend striking, wrestling and grappling without offering opponents a moment to reset. According to him, Islam's smooth transitions across every phase of mixed martial arts position him among the sport's most well-rounded competitors.
Do you see Islam giving like a lot of problems to these welterweights? Like currently the top guys are Ian Garry, Michael Morales, Carlos Prates, all who are very dangerous in their own ways, but it seems like, skill for skill, Islam has the ground edge over all of them. It's just, can he continue to level up on these guys?
Yeah, I think Islam has the edge in terms of skills, because he's more well-rounded. He can do it all, and he, especially with his grappling, he's got an edge in that department. And I think that's what he's gonna try to go for when he fights one of these guys.
Israel Adesanya commends Makhachev's commanding reign, but warns against dismissing Ian Machado. Garry's capabilities. He points out that Garry has already proven he belongs among elite opposition, suggesting this matchup will be closer than many fans anticipate.
Again, Islam is one of the greatest to ever do it in this game. He's dominant in his field, and now he's at welterweight. He wears it well. Like against JDM, I thought JDM scrambling would give him problems, but nah, he didn't. It wasn't the case. But with Garry, the fight with Shavkat, he got close at the end as well to finishing Shavkat, but the way he handled Shavkat's grappling, I wouldn't say foreshadow what's gonna happen with that fight, but I haven't actually looked at that fight too much yet, but I'm excited for that fight just because it's like, again, another one of those ones where it's like destiny. A guy like Ian Machado, who's come up, had this dream, been calling it since day dot, and he's been saying, I'm the future, and now the future is here. So will he get it done? Possibly, but I think I'll dive into that a little bit more. I'll make my picks for that a little bit more close to the fight.
Ariel Helwani and his panel acknowledge that Makhachev rightfully enters as the betting favorite based on his resume and accomplishments. Yet they also recognize Garry's distinctive style and comprehensive skill set provide him a legitimate pathway to delivering one of the year's most shocking upsets.
Really quick fight, but
it's not going to be a quick fight, I don't think.
It's not going to be. Do you fancy his chances, PT?
I think he has a chance, absolutely. I think, look, Islam's the best fighter in the world. It's a huge task. He'll test Ian in a way that we thought Bilal would, and he didn't. So I'm interested to see how it plays out, but I think Ian can have a lot of success if he sticks to his long range on the outside. Absolutely. We've seen him do this time and time again. It's just a different beast across the cage from. Understandably, Islam is the favorite, but absolutely wouldn't rule Ian Garry out.
Adding to the John Anik frames this bout as the defining career moment for Ian Machado. Garry, asserting he has earned this opportunity and possesses the talent to push Islam Makhachev to his absolute limits. Anik believes if everything aligns on fight night, Garry could stun the mixed martial arts community.
Now that I hadn't thought of, that would be absolutely wild. And let's give Ian Machado Garry his credit in all of this, of course. He certainly has a chance to beat Islam Makhachev, the pound-for-pound king. But yeah, that would be wild.
Usman Nurmagomedov considers Ian Machado Garry a dangerous challenger, but questions whether he holds the necessary tools to overcome Islam Makhachev's complete arsenal. He cites Makhachev's elite wrestling, smothering grappling, and ability to dictate where the fight unfolds as the critical factors, maintaining Garry will face an enormous test despite his well-rounded abilities.
striking.
Do you think Ian can do anything to challenge him, or do you see this as a pretty dominant fight for him?
Ian Garry is a top guy, and of course he can do something. But I think Islam gonna be prepared for everything, like striking, grappling, wrestling. We know Ian Garry, he have like a problem with wrestling, with grappling. Like Islam have a very good control in the ground and very good wrestling, how to take the guy to on the ground, and he have like good striking. Very good fight. My opinion is gonna be huge fight. We'll see.
Usman also highlights Makhachev's physical transformation at welterweight, noting the champion appears stronger, healthier, and more settled without the strain of a demanding weight cut. He suggests this improvement could amplify Islam's effectiveness inside the octagon.
Does he seem more comfortable at welterweight now going into this fight? I know the weight at the beginning of the last camp, it was kind of a challenge to keep it on. Does he seem like a real, true welterweight now?
Me or Islam?
Islam.
Yes, he's big now. Last time when I did with him sparring, it was so hard because he's really big. His arms, his legs, now he's big. Now he doesn't cut too much weight and he feel good.
MMA guru dismisses any notion that Ian Machado Garry's size will prove decisive, arguing Islam Makhachev possesses more than enough physical strength to thrive at welterweight. He insists any perceived size edge for Garry will vanish once the opening bell rings.
Does Ian Garry have the game planning necessary to get this one done? He's not going to be much bigger than Islam Makhachev. I've already seen people putting out the weights and saying that Makhachev's actually going to be weighing in a little bit more than Ian Garry for this division. It hurts me to say this, but is Islam Makhachev's win over JDM as impressive as we once thought? To not come close to submitting him, to never really be able to beat him up on the ground. Is he just going to go out there and submit Ian Garry? Way bigger than him, way taller than him, not bigger than him, but frame-wise. That's a tougher man to hold down. Ian Garry's very athletic.
While tactical debates dominate the discourse, Islam Makhachev remains locked into preparation for another welterweight title defense. The champion continues grinding through training camp, fully aware that a victory over a top contender like Ian Machado Garry would cement yet another significant achievement in an already legendary career. Sayfullah Magomedov provides insight into the camp's efforts, explaining that Team Makhachev has intensified preparations as fight night nears. He reveals every aspect of training has been customized for the demands of 170 pounds, with coaches ensuring Islam is physically primed and technically equipped for any challenge Garry could present inside the cage.
Обычно мы, когда на бой готовимся, мы проходим 3 этапа. Это базовый этап, специально подготовительный этап и уже подводящий этап. Это 3 совершенно разные работы, а сейчас мы совместили базовый и специально подготовительный. То есть это функциональная работа 2 раза в неделю и специально беговая тоже 2 раза в неделю. Вот на горках то, что мы делали максимальную лактатную мощность, мы ее добавили с Исламом, когда несколько раз срезы. То есть каждый раз мы, когда начинаем подготовку, мы делаем разные срезы. И вот все эти разные срезы есть на бумаге. Вот этот дневник, который я всегда с собой ношу, Ислам, который так любит. И вот там все его цифры, цифры не обманешь, и есть прогрессия. Там, где нет прогрессии, мы добавляем. Из-за этого мы этот МАМ тоже добавили. Это ММА, здесь он должен быть универсальным бойцом. Слабых мест не должно быть.
With opinions divided and predictions flooding in, anticipation for this potential showdown continues building. Both fighters bring distinct strengths into the equation, and if the bout becomes official, it could rank among the biggest fights in mixed martial arts. Who emerges victorious, Islam Makhachev or Ian Machado Garry? Share your prediction in the comments, and be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications for the latest MMA news and updates.